Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Hunter with Van Houten Builds. I hope y'all are doing well. Last time we left off on the 65 Mustang with the rear windshield install and doing the headliner. What we need to do next is we need to use this windshield and body sealant, and we need to seal in between the gasket here and the glass, and that's just going to keep water out all around. We've sealed all up inside of here, so that keeps water out the outside. Now we get to seal underneath here so we keep water out from underneath. We're also going to drop in the front windshield. One thing I got to do though is I'm realizing I ordered the wrong clips. So I ordered these clips here, and these are for the ones that have the pin on them. So there's like a mounted pin that was hard mounted into the actual pillars here. And what I've got is I've got these, and these were original to the car. They're the screw-in kind. So I don't have enough though, unfortunately, to do the whole outside. So I've got to go and order some more of those. Good times. And then one thing we got to do is I've also got to polish out the trim around the windshield and the back glass. I don't know how it's going to be. It's in pretty rough shape. So I'm basically going to be just hammering away at it and trying to get it as flat and straight as possible. It's just in rough shape. So I'm going to try and salvage as much as I can, because that stuff is pretty expensive to buy. The quality I've heard is not amazing. So we're gonna try and salvage it if we can. And before we jump into things, go ahead and give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Remember to set your bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. I wanna thank you guys for hanging in with me on this crazy Mustang journey. We're almost done, sort of. We're getting there, getting closer. Got the motor I'm gonna probably have to pull next, along with gonna reupholster the front seats at some point, and then gotta put in the back seat. And we're pretty much almost there. This thing is almost ready to hit the road. I gotta bleed the brakes too. But other than that, you know, we're coming to the finish line. So that feels good. Can't wait to get this thing out on the road and just let it go crazy. Show you guys what she can do. Hopefully it meets all expectations. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Y'all, so I sprayed this with a little bit of glass cleaner before, and that's the trick. That worked so well. Wow. Okay, so leave this. Now we're gonna switch to the other side. Round. Babe, you're doing amazing. Thank you. You're a pro, a real pro. gotta do is we gotta put on the trim next. So I've tried to hammer out the existing trim as much as possible. One thing I did preemptively was to tape all the way around where we're installing, and then I marked where my trim pieces are, so that way I can push down the trim in the right place. All right, so the trick here is to take like a flat piece of wood and push down the whole surface area, because if you try and do it with your hand, it's just like nearly impossible to get the actual trim piece to clip into the retainer clips. So just a heads up if you're doing it, highly recommend using just a flat piece of like thin wood. It just spreads the pressure load out pretty much. Makes it way easier. All right, y'all, so ordered a few things. Placed an order for some parts from CJ Pony, so it almost hits the ceiling. Okay, here we go. Woo-hoo. Okay. All right, y'all, so check it. What we got, and there's more on the way, a bunch of little parts. So I'm trying to get all the chrome together. This stuff is super expensive. All of the trim that goes on the windshield and etc. So I've been trying to like hammer all this out. Need to still get a few little spots fixed, but everything's looking pretty good. I'm gonna try and salvage and keep as much of that as possible, the original chrome. Two things I could not really salvage, or I didn't have. So the car didn't come with rocker panels. I got these old rocker panels from somebody for like 30-40 bucks, and I tried to polish them out as best I could and just could not. They were just too ripped up, scuffed up, and gross. And I also would have needed to repaint the black stripes, and I was trying to tape it off, and it was a pain. So after a lot of fighting with these, I figured, you know, they were like 40 bucks a piece. I figured I would just go ahead and order some new ones. So I went ahead and ordered some fresh rocker panels. It's one of those pieces on the car that I feel like, you know, it kind of says a lot. So I wanted to get, you know, nice fresh new ones for the car, and I can also sell the old ones or just use them on another build in the future. So here we go. But yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, those look good. I mean, see the difference between the new and the old. They just, they're fresh. Man, those look good. Yeah, that's gonna be sweet. Got two of those. Already got all the mounting hardware from my car originally that still had the hardware on it. Then along with that, got some other little goodies. Let's see, what else did I get? Beep, beep. Oh yeah, got a brake pedal switch here because my other one wasn't working. So I just thought I'd replace it, make it easy. Yeah, replacing that. Easy peasy. Put a new switch in because the brakes were not engaging the tail lights, if that makes sense. right, so what I'm doing is I'm basically starting on the bottom, getting it over the bottom lip, and then pushing it over the top. And I didn't screw in the very far ends yet, so you can see these pieces right here. So I start at the bottom and then push it, and it clips in, and then now we can screw in the very ends and get those nice and tight. All right, y'all, so we just finished installing the windshield. Finally. I'm like super excited and happy with it. I put the trim in, it looks great. I was able to salvage all the trim on the car, so that was fantastic. That saved me a ton of money because that stuff is not cheap. But yeah, I mean, look at it. The windshield, it works perfect. The blue tint to it, everything on the inside looks good. There's a few things we got to do, like bleeding the brakes. On top of bleeding the brakes, we've got to put on the mirrors, like the side mirrors. We've got to do a bunch of like little dress up stuff for the car. So yeah, oh, and then I got to repaint those tailpiece extenders. So that's gonna be a whole thing. Got to literally whip out all the painting gear and do that all over again. Got to touch up a few spots on the car, probably with some clear. But all in all, everything's pretty much in a good place. I got to probably pull the engine though, unfortunately. I think it's gonna need a rebuild. I'm gonna open up the top of it first, take off the intake manifold. I know it's got a leak there. I've literally seen it leaking. Everything still runs and it runs good. I just, I've got low compression on one side of the engine. So we gotta pull that. I got one of my buddies who I met at Mustang Country, I think is gonna help me pull the engine. So got a few things to do before we can actually get it on the road. But we're getting super close. Everything is looking good. Now I can roll my windows up, not get dust inside anymore, which is great. Yeah, cause that was getting kind of old, you know?